Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got Vinced. Yeah. Guys, they're just getting worse and worse and worse. And this episode of SmackDown is barely talkable, in my opinion. Not much really happened at all on this show. This is going to be a quick review, probably. But what's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man, 1993. And not only in order to be superior to the man, in order to be superior to the... I can't talk today. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. With groom swag. Yes, I'm still wearing my groom hat. As again, I am just 4 days away from my wedding. I did post an announcement on Twitter and on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. And on YouTube. And I'll probably post one on my story on Instagram. But again, this week, because of how much I've going on before my wedding on Saturday, and I just want to start off with a clean slate. And because I still have not finished Forbidden Door as of the recording of this video, there will be no Raw review this week, no AEW review this week, and there will be no SmackDown for the shows this week. All three of my weekly reviews for this week have been canceled. Again, because I just have a lot going on, and I just rather start off next week with a clean slate, which of course will be my Money in the Bank review, which will be live. Again, I will not be able to watch that Saturday because at the time of the show, I'll be getting married. And I'm pretty sure that takes much more preference over a stale product like WWE right now. Well, even if the product was not stale, it would still take preference over it. But of course, I will probably watch Money in the Bank on Sunday to catch up. And then probably just review either Sunday or Monday, one of the two. But hopefully, again, I keep saying, hopefully in July, we will start to get back on track. I'll be able to start posting some more content again, as I do miss it. And hopefully in July, we will be seeing the top 10 worst wrestling matches of all time, 2023 edition coming soon. But let's talk about this episode very, very quickly here. Apparently, this episode of SmackDown, Vince McMahon got his prints on it big time. And of course, I know one thing for sure, because originally on this show, we were supposed to get a match with Bayley and Shotzi Blackheart. And if Shotzi won, she would have taken Bayley's spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Which is, again, actually interesting. Because I actually could have seen Shotzi maybe doing that. And teasing some breakup between Damage Control. Nope, can't do that. That got cut. And apparently, it's not even going to happen on this Friday on SmackDown. Because last night on Raw, basically, Bayley and Io were back on same terms. And Io's like, may the best woman win. And I'm just like, so we're going to completely ignore that. So once again, Vince McMahon made a ton of changes. And he did on Raw last night too, apparently. And I thought that show sucked as well. Good thing I'm not reviewing it. So yeah, the show sucked. It's just getting worse. Again, as I keep saying, Brock Lesnar and Omos was the injection of the poison that Vince McMahon was going to spread. And as you've seen over the past 3 months, the shows just get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then, of course, this episode of SmackDown and this past episode of Raw, again, with it getting closer to the closing of the sale, we're being told, don't be surprised if Vince McMahon will indeed get more power. And that's been the plan all along. And just put this out there too. There have been these rumblings that Triple H and Nick Khan are trying to find a way to get Vince to stop doing what he's doing. I'm sure no matter what they try, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. We're screwed. This is just how it is going to be. A lifeless, pointless product with nothing, no direction really. And other than the bloodline stuff on this show, there was nothing else really that happened. Nothing at all. It took place in Lafayette, Louisiana. We had kicked off with a promo from the Usos explaining, of course, themselves of, why they decided to both leave the bloodline. Basically, same thing, they don't like that they have to fight their family. But, whenever they wanted to do things together, but there's also something called respect. And that's something that Roman Reigns seems to lack, is respect. And blah, blah, blah. This is just hyping up the bloodline civil war. Solo Sikoa was in a pissed off mood, and he attacked Ridge Holland backstage, and Sheamus wanted to get a piece of him. And of course, this is the first time Sheamus has appeared on screen since he apparently voiced his frustration with the Braun Brutes booking. So was this punishment? I don't know. But he basically called out Solo, got the match, and Solo beat him by referee stoppage in the main event. The Usos came out, double super kicked him to end the show, basically, when Solo had no other help. Of course. That was really the only bright spot. LA Knight did defeat Rey Mysterio by pinfall. Okay. He got a win. Okay. I guess that's decent there. We had the Women's Tag Team Championship Unification match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and they defeated the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre to unify the tag titles. Whatever, I was expecting that. But of course, who was showing up on SmackDown? Oh look, another Raw superstar. This one had no reason to be on SmackDown. They could have just done this on Raw last night, because that's where these superstars belong. But Raquel Rodriguez was on SmackDown, basically just to tell Ronda and Shayna that we want our tag title rematch. And then we? Who's we? It was not very obvious, but it was obvious. Because when she said, we want our tag title rematch for the titles that we never lost. Liv Morgan made her return. Surprised to see that happen, because I thought I heard she was out with a rotator cuff. But she's already back. So, cool. And apparently that is going to be the 7th match at Money in the Bank. So I will have to change the graphics whenever I do get to my Money in the Bank review. Probably within the next week. Because we're not going to be doing Rhea and Raquel as I predicted. We're going to be doing Ronda and Shayna versus Raquel and Liv. And once again, is there any woman that stands a praying chance right now that you actually honestly believe can beat Ronda and Shayna? Nope. Those props, women's tag titles are going to be held for a long time by the two of them. And nobody's going to stand a single chance against them. So, we have that. Oh yeah, and then we have another edition of the Grayson Waller effect. Why can't we see Grayson Waller just wrestle already? Again, I saw him wrestle when I checked out NXT Stand and Deliver. His unsanctioned match with Johnny Gargano. Fantastic. The guy can wrestle. I'm not getting behind this character. I don't care for the Grayson Waller effect. It just feels like a very, very forced show. And he feels like he's just being just like a parody of The Miz. And he doesn't feel unique. He doesn't. He feels like he's just playing a role. And speaking of bland, out came Pretty Deadly. Now, let me also mention this. I had to watch this show twice because Friday, while we were doing the show, my soon-to-be sisters-in-law came over to work on some wedding stuff, and I was helping them. And this show is on in the background. I didn't pay the best attention, which is why I watched it a second time. And I was kind of embarrassed by this show, especially by this Grayson Waller segment, because we have the Yes Boys Pretty Deadly coming out. And I am still severely disgusted with their attire. Again, like those man bras, whatever the heck they wear, it's awful. But of course, this segment right here proved that they're literally just Vince McMahon favorites. Because first off, they did some dumb thing where it's like, we beat them. We beat 5 other teams, Brawling Brutes. We beat them. Hit Row. We beat them. LWO. We beat them. I'm like, no, you dumbasses. You were literally just the last team. So you only technically beat one team, the Brawling Brutes. It was bad, not entertaining. Again, these guys just feel forced. I just still feel like, because again, what I saw most of them the time when I watched NXT UK, they were just jobbers. And okay, yes, they got personality. But they still feel like they're being forced, and they just feel like they're just Vince McMahon favorites. And when you got that mojo on you, yeah, it does kind of get hard to get behind you. But of course, they were calling out all these tag teams, and they're going to be getting a tag title shot next Friday, this coming Friday on SmackDown in London. Dear God, I hope to God Vince does not tell them to put the tag titles on Pretty Deadly next Friday. They are not ready yet at all to be champs. Not at all. Again, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn retain those tag titles. SummerSlam. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus DIY. That would be a clinic. But of course, the moment they called out the Street Profits, they came out and they cut some promo. They set up for a match, and oh God, they were ripping off Elton Prince's man bra thing. Montez Ford put it on and made a joke. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm done. This is stoked. First off, they need new attire. I hate their attire. And the match wasn't really that good either way. Pretty Deadly, though, beat the Street Profits, and I just didn't care. And then the only thing that happened was Charlotte Flair took on Lacey Evans. Stand up and salute me! Yeah, and she's basically just a jobber, Lacey Evans. Of course, funny thing is, you look at this match and you realize this was the match Vince wanted at WrestleMania 37 until Lacey got pregnant and Charlotte got sick. These two have wrestled a handful of times. They don't have good chemistry at all. They really do not. And then Charlotte was even imitated going, stand up and salute me. And of course, Charlotte does win. And then Asuka comes out and attacks afterwards just for her to imitate the salute also. Which I'm like, why are you mocking the salute when the person you should be mocking, of course, is the person you're fighting? But of course, also, they're having Asuka be just the typical, Asuka that she was when Vince booked her. Being, goofy, dancing, comedy. Why can't we just have a silent, badass killer? Well, okay, not legitimately killer, but, just like a silent badass like she was in NXT. Why does everything Vince touches have to have comedy? Has to make him laugh. Something goofy and ghetto or whatnot. It has to make Vince laugh. And that's all he freaking cares about. And that's it. I gave this show a D+. It was Vinced. It was severely, severely Vinced. Again, how do you advertise a match last week and it doesn't happen? I mean, I'm used to it. Remember back in 2017, they advertised the fashion Police's fashion files for weeks, and they never pulled the trigger on that. Remember that? Yeah, so that's basically this. It's just all a joke. Like, I actually was intrigued by the idea of having Shotzi take on Bayley to take Bayley's spot. And why it would have worked? Because you would have had Shotzi Blackheart, a babyface, possibly getting her comeuppance against a heel like Bayley. And it's teasing a breakup with Bayley and Io. It's a story! Everything else on the show did not have a story except for the freaking bloodline. Everything else was just a random ass match, random filler match, meant nothing, and a horrible talk show segment on the Grayson Waller effect. By the way, I do wonder if those people, how they show those tweets at the bottom of the screen, I wonder if those are legitimate tweets. Or if it's just fake stuff that Vince McMahon just tells them to put on there. Jeez, oh man. I'm kind of glad that I'm taking a break this week and not reviewing any of the shows this week. Well, AEW I will kind of miss reviewing. But like I said, I just want to start off with a clean slate after the wedding. And again, hopefully get the video games going again. Get back to Wolfenstein. Get back to Roller Coaster Tycoon. I have some baseball stuff I want to do. Both news that I got to catch up with. And I also want to get back into the custom players. It's been years since I've done the custom players. I kind of want to get back into those too. And of course, the video I'm very excited to do soon. And again, hopefully it comes out good because again, I did some improvements to OBS before my Money in the Bank preview stream. So hopefully, of course, this will all go well. But I definitely am very excited about that worst matches video. I'm very excited about that. And again, I still got to do the last short. But again, busy, about to get married. This finger's not going to be naked anymore after Saturday. So, yep, naked fingers is what my fiance calls them. But anyways, that's going to do it for this review of SmackDown. I gave it a D+. It was boring, waste of time. Nothing made sense there for the bloodline. What are your guys' thoughts on this episode of SmackDown that got Vinced? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Twitter at TheClubOfTheMan93. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TheClubOfTheMan1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. Get your groom swag on. And don't forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.